Chapter 19. Who am I? A flash of light, and it's gone. He struggles to open his eyes. What's happening? At first, his vision is blurred, but slowly it starts to focus. The sun is setting over the horizon. As the shapes and colors begin to clear, he can't believe what he's seeing. In the still lit dusk, bodies. Thousands of bodies. For as far as the eye can see, lying limp and bloody. Where am I? While trying to stand, his legs feel stuck, and he can't move them. Am I paralyzed? No, I can feel the tingling, he thinks. Trying to reassure himself, he mumbles, They must just be asleep. I need to wake them up. Still unable to move them, he shakes and hits the tops of his thighs with his arms. After another couple of minutes, the feeling begins to return. He once again tries to stand. This time, he manages to dig his way out of the pile of bodies and carnage. As he stands, he stretches and realizes there's something very wrong. How did I get here? His memories seem distant, as if they are there, but just out of his reach. In the far recesses of his mind, he can vaguely recall being in a battle, but nothing else. Who am I? The bodies appear to be soldiers. He sees men of all ages, wearing gray uniforms, and others wearing blue. Looking down, he notes, My uniform is gray. I'm a soldier, he realizes. But for whom do I fight? And why am I fighting? Looking for answers, he desperately starts to dig through his pockets for clues. First, he tries searching through the pants he is wearing, but has no recollection of ever putting on. There is a small knife and a couple of small coins. Surprisingly, he finds that he has no trouble seeing the small coins, even though the sun has now completely set, and the only light is coming from the moon over the battlefield. It's as if he now has some sort of night vision. Taking a closer look, the coins have a man's face on them, but he doesn't recognize who it is. Continuing his search, he looks in his coat pockets until he finally feels something on the left. Inside his breast pocket, he pulls out a folded letter. Carefully unfolding the fragile piece of parchment, he reads it out loud, and his heart sinks. My dearest Kalila, the war has been brutal, and I do not know when I will be able to come home. I believe our side is winning, and it is my sincerest hope that all of this will be over soon, and that we will finally be reunited so we can start our family. But we have lost so many soldiers, and I have lost so many friends, and I fear that each passing day could be my last. But the thought of you has kept me strong. I love you, and hope you are well. Until we meet again, your loving husband, Jamil. Whose coat am I wearing? Is it really mine? I don't understand. If Jamil is my name, why can't I remember it? And if I'm in love and have a wife, how could I not remember that? He begins to rub his head, thinking the reason he can't remember must be due to an injury. Maybe a blow to my head knocked me out. And now I can't remember. A quick examination reveals no obvious signs of trauma, no cuts or bumps. There aren't even any tender spots. In fact, he feels no pain whatsoever. There it is again. He sees a flash of light out of the corner of his eye, and another one. Is anyone there? He calls out. But there is no answer. Thousands of men lay motionless and silent until finally he sees a man about 50 meters directly in front of him. someone who had just been lying there, seemingly lifeless a moment ago, suddenly get up. He's walking towards me. He's wearing blue. What side am I on? He glances at his own gray shirt. This man must be my enemy. He reaches down to pick up a sword. He finds one lying at his feet. There are many to choose from. He has no idea whether the one he chooses is his. Although the man is walking in his direction, the man isn't looking at him. As the man gets closer, adrenaline starts to shoot through his veins. He's not raising his weapon. Why the hell isn't he looking at me? He stands frozen, not understanding what's happening. He does nothing, and the man just keeps on walking right past him. Then he sees another one get up and another. Each time, a flash of light catches his attention. After he sees the light, another soldier gets up, some wearing gray suits and the others wearing blue. What is happening? And where are they all going? He doesn't know, but he decides that he needs answers, so he starts to follow them. He grips his sword a little tighter and starts moving. A group of maybe 100 soldiers from 2 different armies continue walking to the tree line at the edge of the field. When they all finally stopped, nobody said a word. Looking around, he notices the men have war-torn clothes, battered and bloodied, but no one seems to be tending to their wounds. Oddly, nobody even seemed injured. Seeing this, he takes a closer look at himself. Looking down with his newly acquired night vision eyes, he notices for the first time what looks like giant holes in the pants he's wearing. There are long slashes cut completely through the material, and the once gray pants are now soaked and stained red. Panic shoots through his body. I'm hurt. But he remembers that he just managed to walk at least a kilometer without pain or trouble. Taking a closer look, by bending and peering through the large slashes, he expects to see torn and bloodied skin. But there are no cuts and, for that matter, no skin. At least none that he can see. Instead, what he sees causes his knees to buckle, and he falls to the ground. His legs are completely covered with thick black hair. It's not like any other person he has ever seen. In fact, I look like an animal. What am I? A man dressed in a formal military uniform, decorated with medals, stands in front of the group of bloodied and battered soldiers. But his uniform wasn't gray or blue. It was a light shade of brown. What's going on? It has most likely been more than an hour since he woke up, and this man is the first to speak. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to a new beginning. My name is Balthazar, and I will be your guide to your new life. He is big, at least 7 feet tall. He sort of leans forward as he stands there, addressing the group of silent soldiers. What is this man talking about? He doesn't know, but like every single person there, he is captivated, and he hangs on every word. Tonight is a great night indeed, for tonight is your birth night. All of you have been reborn tonight, right here on this battlefield. As he speaks, he walks around, looking each soldier in the eyes. You are new. You are better. No longer do we fight each other. Now, we are all on the same side, the winning side. Look at each other. These are your new brothers. This is your new family. We do not fight with our family. We fight the enemy. And you all now have a new enemy. Thinking about Balthazar's words, He starts to look around, noticing more things. Things that aren't quite normal. Things that don't seem quite right. He sees that some of the others' eyes don't have any color to them. There are no irises or pupils. They are just all white, or maybe a bit yellowish in color. The lack of color makes their eyes almost appear as if they are glowing. Still, other men have very pale, almost grayish complexions. At first, he thought they were dirty from the war, but it is more than that, he thinks. Their skin almost looks lifeless, as if it has already started to rot. "What's your name, son?" Balthazar is now standing right in front of him, and the question snaps him out of his thoughts. He quickly composes himself. "Jamil, sir, or at least that's what it said in the letter I found," he silently thought. "Jamil, well, look at you. You are quite the specimen. You're just a pup now, but you are going to grow. Oh, yes, you're going to grow. Something tells me there's something special about you." He walks away. After personally inspecting every single soldier in the group, Balthazar eventually beckons everyone to follow him. They begin to walk. They walk and talk through the woods for hours until they come to a small hole in the side of a mountain. The hole opens into a cavernous space inhabited by hundreds, if not thousands, of others. Once inside, Balthazar shows Jamil to a spot, and he says, "This is your space. It's right next to me." He sits on a rock ledge a few meters away. "What is this place?" he asks Balthazar. It was the first words he had spoken in hours. "Who are all of these people?" "People?" Balthazar questions. Then Balthazar looks at him for a few moments, contemplating his answer. "All will be revealed in due time. You have had a long night. Get some rest. Training starts tomorrow." He thinks, "I haven't eaten in, well, I can't remember how long." But surprisingly, he is not hungry. It's weird. He has an appetite, but it's not for food. As the sun begins to rise outside, he suddenly is overcome with exhaustion. He lies down and closes his eyes.